Welcome back to another Micro Soldering Wednesday. Today I'm going to be going over a specific repair on MacBook Pros, and that is when the display has kind of a half backlight where the LEDs are kind of staggered as to which one works, or sometimes they go all together. The MacBook that we're going to be looking at today is model A1707, and due to the way that this display was manufactured, it's really tough to replace the damaged component. We'll get to that in a little bit, but looking at the cost of displays for this model, we're talking over $500 on just the used ones, where the component that fails and needs to be replaced is only $5. Let's get into the video. Given that these flex cables are embedded in part of the display, where the only way to get to them is to carefully remove the LCD panel without damaging it and without messing up the backlight, it's just not practical. It's extremely difficult, even for somebody that does it, to remove the LCD without damaging it. I have videos demonstrating how to remove the LCD. Typically and the only reason to do that is if you're replacing it. The issue that occurs here is the design of the flex. Over time, with enough movement, the flexes will fold back and forth, and eventually you're going to get a pinch or you're going to see damage. And so we see that frequently on these models. And although today we're going to be looking specifically at the A1707, this is common on the following models: A1706, A1707, A1708, A1989, A2159, A2289, A2251, A1932, A2179, and A1990, as you can see in the description here. So a lot of MacBook Pros. The first thing that we need to do is remove all of the screws that cover up the Wi-Fi antenna bar here. It's in the way of getting to the flex cables. We'll disconnect the coax cables so that we can fully remove this component. And here you can see the problematic area on both flex cables. Here's a close-up of the area. You can see that it's kind of been kinked and cracked. And here are the new flex cables that we're going to be using to fix the issue here. It's important to keep them organized and which one's which. Here you can see we're just going to cut off where it's already damaged and scrape away the black paint that's covering up the traces. Carefully using a new razor blade or a scalpel or anything that is sharp and can remove it without causing damage. Carefully take our time to remove the black paint so that we can get down and expose those traces so that they can receive some solder. We'll add some flux. With a tinned solder tip, we're going to go through and tin up all of the leads. Clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol. We're going to measure and cut the new flex cable and scrape away the paint as well. Using a razor blade or something metallic and flat, we can line them up perfectly and join them together. I want to make sure it's as perfect as we can be, and we're going to use some Kapton tape to secure it in place. We'll add some more flux. And using some solder, we'll start to bridge the traces. Slowly exposing the traces so that they'll receive solder. And we're going to add wire to jump across each one of these connections. There are several larger ones which are easy to solder to, and there are several small ones which are a bit more difficult to solder to. And they do become a little tedious because of how close they are to their neighboring leads. But with enough patience, this is totally doable, and it's saving you $500. So using some jumper wire, carefully attach and jump the corresponding leads. Make sure it's not touching the other, and we'll go in and carefully tack in its neighbor. You'll find that occasionally you'll knock off the previously done one. You'll just have to continue to work it until you've got it all done. And after a handful of them, you'll start to get the hang of it. You'll be able to do it much easier. Stepping it up to a slightly larger jumper wire here for the larger traces to make this joint a little bit stronger, as well as keeping that conductivity high. And adding more flux and cleaning as needed. The amount of time that it takes to do this compared to the amount of time and effort it would take to remove the LCD panel without breaking it, which is near impossible on this model. It is doable. I have done it, but it's near impossible. Versus doing this. This is much easier. And replacing the top panel on a lot of MacBooks basically also involves losing functions like the camera, True Tone, and other things. So going about it like this, we maintain all of the originality as well. Leave it in the comments below. Would you go through all of this effort to fix it, or is this something you would even want to attempt? Clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol. Double and triple check that all the joints are good and they're not crossing over. We're going to add some UV curable mask. This one has some flexibility. We'll smooth it out so it's nice and covering everything up, and we'll hit it with UV light. This will give the flex cable some rigidity so it doesn't want to just simply break. Carefully peel off the Kapton tape, fold it over, and we're going to add some UV glue to the back as well to reinforce it on the back. Hit it with the UV light, and this one is good to go. Now for the second one, this one is slightly different, and here's a different technique that you can use. We'll start off by going about it in the same way, scraping off the black coating to expose the trace. Using some solder paste, carefully expose all of the wires and solder to them. We'll cut a new flex cable and scrape away the corresponding traces. You can see the distinct difference between the two flex cables. Definitely not the same when it comes to these lines. So you don't want to mix these up. I mean, you won't be able to really solder the other one to it anyway. You can see this one lines up, and here's the other way to do it. Expose the traces. We're going to tin all of the traces. We'll flip it over so that it basically butts up against the other, and we'll carefully heat it up from the top, basically soldering each line to the other. So this is a way to do it without running all of the jumpers. It's a little tricky, and it's kind of a blind solder, but it's also doable. And with some electrical tape, we'll secure it and wrap it around so it doesn't want to come loose and separate. Peel off the Kapton tape carefully without undoing all of our hard work. And then this cable will fold under, up and around, and connect in, and it will have accomplished the other as well. We'll reassemble it for testing. Putting back all of the brackets and all of the screws. Make sure everything's nice and compressed and connected. And see if we have a completely full backlight. And there we go. No more half backlight. Looks really good at the bottom. We can test the brightness just to make sure everything's working properly. And it is. And there we go. That is how to do it. Now it is tedious, time consuming, and does require a bit of skills, knowledge, and the ability to microsolder. But it's completely doable with enough patience. It's tedious for sure, but the payoff is well worth it in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Was it worth it? Or if there's anything that you would have done differently, let me know. If there's anything you want to see in a future video, leave it in the comments below as well. Thanks a ton for watching. We'll see you in the next video.